No one's ever interviewed me like this. This is like Oprah Winfrey.
If you woke up tomorrow and your life was settling better, what would be the one thing that you noticed should change?
Ooh, that's a good question. Being on time. It's seriously something that I just can't get right. I don't know if I overbook myself or I putz around when I should have more urgency, but I just can't master it. And I should not even say that, because I think putting that out into the ether is negative. What I'm trying to say is I can be on time, and I'm even like meditating on it. I'm trying to even book extra driving time. I'm trying to set alarms, but my life would vastly improve if I could be on time.
If there was one thing you could hear from your parents that would make you feel seen, validated, and just optimistic about the future, what would it be?
My parents did such a good job of that I really don't want for anything there. My parents were people who were very non-judgmental in the sense that they were always supportive that I could be anything I wanted to be, but whatever that was, just be the best at it. I just know a lot of my friends, like they were told they had to be a lawyer, or they had to be a doctor, or their parents wouldn't be proud of them if they were this or that. My parents were always really supportive of whatever I wanted to do and cultivated a really non-judgmental space. And I look back on my childhood, because you don't know it at the time when you're growing up, that is unique. But now I look back after interviewing so many different people in walks of life, and I'm like, oh my God, I was so lucky that I grew up in this space that was fluid and comfortable. And I'm trying to do that for my own kids. It's like, I never want to put pressure on my kids that they have to be an entrepreneur or they have to do it my way.
When you are the happiest, how can people tell?
Definitely after I've meditated and done breath work, I will feel exponentially happier. I also feel very happy when I have space. And what I mean by that is I don't like to wake up to an alarm and rush out the door. And maybe this is my problem with being on time. I like to have space in the beginning of the day and space at the end, and even space in the middle. And I'm realizing, like, through social media, that's like soft girl. But I like to be soft girl, but then when I'm on, I like to be efficient girl. So there's a part of me that likes to be very slow, but then there's a part of me that's likes to be efficient when I'm on. That's the Gemini. I am the happiest though when I do have those bookends on the day and space in the middle. And that could mean meditating, you know, making like my concoctions in the kitchen, lighting a candle, playing music, being with my kids, having coffee outside. Like I need those moments to stay sane. And if I don't have those recharging moments, I'm a fucking nightmare. And I can tell when I've been around people too much and not had space to myself to read and recharge, I start to get like the anxiety starts to come up and I know exactly what to do. I gotta go recharge.
When you're struggling, how can people tell?
It's when I don't have enough alone time. I'm a person that really enjoys being alone. And being alone, what I mean is like not like alone in my environment. I could be in bed reading a book and have, you know, my kid sleeping next to me and Michael, that's fine. I just need like space and quiet so I can be effective. If I don't have that, it's not fun for Michael.
Whose opinion of you matters the most to you right now?
100% my self-opinion. I think that your self-opinion of yourself is how you build confidence. And sometimes your self-opinion isn't always great. I mean, we've all had days where we feel like shit, we're not keeping the promises that we made to ourselves. Your self-opinion, I think, is really important with how you conduct yourself and the energy that you bring to any business, any relationship with your children. I think self-opinion is incredibly important.
What kinds of relationship models did you see growing up? And how do you think those models might have influenced how you view and approach your relationships now?
The relationships that I saw growing up was my parents got divorced at an early age. And what that actually did for me is it gave me a lot of different tools. I saw my dad date like 100 different women. And in that, I saw how different women conducted themselves with my dad. My dad was kind of like a player. He was smooth. And so I got to see someone with desperate energy. I got to see someone who was too needy. I got to see someone who was maybe a bitch. I got to see all different walks of life with my father and then how he responded to them. So one book that I write in my future will be the one that actually got him, and how was very interesting to observe. And what she did for him to be attracted to her was interesting to watch. And he always apologized to me. Oh, I'm so sorry I dated all those women when you were young. And I'm like, it was the best case study ever. Because I was able to see, what works in a relationship and what doesn't, and what's off-putting and what makes you lean into it. It was really, really interesting. And so, I always say sometimes my parents' divorce is one of the best things that ever happened, because I was really able to see all these different walks of life and my dad was like a guinea pig, and I could watch the study. My dad's gonna love this.
That's a great answer. When do you feel like your childhood was over? And do you feel like there was a defining moment that you kind of grew up?
Oh, I think my childhood was over when I realized that my parents weren't perfect, and that I also gave context to thinking about how they grew up when they were little. I think when you become your wisest is when you realize that your parents used to be little kids, and you start thinking about their childhood and maybe reasons that they are the way they are, because it gives you freedom to forgive them for their shortcomings. And when I started thinking of my parents as little kids and realizing that there's imperfections, it was I think that's when my childhood was over. I had a moment of epiphany.
What do you miss most about your childhood?
I miss being around, I guess, my family. You're not around your family, your mom and dad, my sister, when we were young. I miss that, but you can recreate that with holidays. I miss probably just little moments, like swimming with my dad or reading with my mom, the little moments that make you feel nostalgic. But what is cool about becoming a parent is my dad came over and took my daughter swimming today. So you get to see the moments through your kids' eyes, so it's sort of full circle.
When was the last time you truly felt alive?
When I did mushrooms, can I say that? No, it's not a lie. I feel alive. I wake up every single day. My dad taught me this, to look at the cup half full. I feel optimistic every day I wake up. I feel excited. And sometimes you feel shitty when you wake up, but I try to look at everything with a healthy mindset. And so taking the things that are bad, and instead of feeling like a victim, I try to let it fuel me. So I feel alive right now, but mushrooms definitely helps.